Hi there everybody, welcome back to Prestige Auctions. Wow, what an auction it was yesterday. Thought we'll just do a quick aftermath and talk about some of the highlights and bargains and things of yesterday's specialist sale. Of course, lots of people got involved with this sale. We had around 200, in fact probably more than 200 registered bidders for this auction. We were selling coins and jewellery and vintage toys and collectible die-cast and minerals and rocks and all sorts of stuff. And do you know what? The bidders really came out for this one. It was a bit exciting in the room in terms of the bids coming through. However, there weren't many people in the room. There's probably about 6 or 8 people, sort of average all day. But of course, all the bidders are online. And the reason being was some of the great stuff that we had in there. So without further ado, let's have a quick look at what was sold in this auction. And as you can see here, now this is a great little thing for you to look at as well. So if you ever want to go on to see how something did in one of our auctions, easyliveauction.com, go to Prestige and look at our previous sales. We don't hide our results. Some auction rooms do, we don't. And then you can go on there. So you can see there, for instance, you can see, look, that hammer, £34. That's how much it sold for. So it gives you a good idea of what stuff sold for. So, you know, like the first thing there, the Oriental look flat necklace made £180 and so on. So ultimately, you can see. Now, some things in this auction, of course, as all auctions, had reserves on there. So when you're going through these listings, if it says estimate still, then that item wasn't sold. It sometimes looks like it gets sold because you're trying to get a bid. You're trying to entice a bid on the internet, but sometimes the items don't sell. But generally speaking, most of the stuff in this auction sold. So as you'll see there, it'll be hammer, hammer, hammer. So for instance, look at these little bits and bobs here, these little silver charms and things. Well, that one of the witch there, you know, it made £8, but again, when it comes to buying and selling, if you used to get an old silver charm bracelet and split it up and sell each piece like that for £8, you're still going to make a lot of money. Things that were maybe a little bit disappointing was like this, the silver ingot there that only did, I think it was £24. Yeah, £24 on the hammer for that one. Now, I would say we get around £30 for those in our general sale. So, you know, there were some bargains to be had as well. It wasn't all about this, but then things that came out of the cabinet quite a lot, like this here, this opal pendant, you know, that one doing £90. Let me see if I can move that picture for you so you can see a bit better on the actual thing. There you go. So stuff like that did okay, and wow, there was some real surprises yesterday. But there were bargains to be had, like that wedding ring at £50, maybe a tad over scrap. These here 9-carat gold opal and ruby earrings, you know, at £65. Some of the more vintage stuff, well, that did some money. I know lots of people watched in on this sale on YouTube yesterday and on Facebook. So for the people that were watching on Facebook, they always ask this question, oh well, the feed went off. Well, it does after 8 hours, and this was like a 9.5 hour auction. So I don't really want to start stopping auctions to just do Facebook things. So there you go. So this one here, the 9-carat gold ring, this came out of the cabinet a bit on the viewing day. And if you see that one there, you know, £140. But like I was saying in the room yesterday, £140, it's a lot of ring for £140. And then this one here didn't sell, didn't quite make the reserve. But then things like the diamond cluster rings at £80 and so on. And these single diamond rings, older look, and that at £55, you know, they're good value. They are good value pieces of jewellery, and ultimately, you're not going to be able to buy them on the high street for that. That was a little disappointing as well to me. The 9-carat gold I Love You spinner, I've had £50 and £60 for those in the past, and this one did £30 yesterday in the specialist sale. This one was a nice piece, this lot 37, which was the stunning 10-carat gold and sapphire ring. As you can see, that one did £240. A bit over scrap, that one, but, you know, with scrap prices going up like they are, it'll soon catch it up. 9-carat gold tiger's eye ring, size J, 2.44 grams at £70. Well, these vintage tiger eye bits are doing well at the moment. Anything with sort of that vintage retro look seems to be doing a few pounds. That was a surprise to me. The 9-carat gold pendant charm lobster pot, £150 that did. A couple of people battled that one out, really wanted that piece, which was nice. The little mouse sold at £26. So there were some bargains in this sale, to be honest. And that one there, again, that one did some fair money. This was the Lord's Prayer on a little pendant. at £60, that one, £60. And then stuff like this, you know, this nice piece here, 22.28 grams, but a nice old-fashioned, basically a charm bracelet with a locket, or it could be just used as a bracelet. That made £510 yesterday in the specialist sale. So sometimes you can see why you need to bring the internet in on certain jobs like this, because ultimately, you know, you would need to pull in them extra bidders, and because the items are a bit specialised. That was cheap, I thought, at £20. When you think that all the work that would have gone into that back in the day, look at that, £20. But there you go, it was there, and most of these coins, they were there to sell. As you can see, most of them did at £14, £18. Now, a lot of bigger, lazier auction rooms would chuck all these in a tin and hope for the best. We split them down, as you see, because some of them had some real significant interest to people, and you can see they weren't making huge money. I mean, that was cheap there, lot 67, you know, was that £10? I mean, that's less than the scrap value of that. So someone's got a bit of a bargain there. And then some of the older coins, one or two of the silver lots didn't sell, which really surprised me. They didn't get anywhere near the scrap prices. The reserves were set at scrap on those. But then you got something like this, like 2 old 4p silver pieces that made 20 quid. That was fair. And then the crowns, again, that crown was cheap. That crown is cheaper than scrap. There you go. So there were bargains. There really were bargains in this sale. When it came to some of the older stuff, you did see that some of these older pieces were doing some fair money, and then other bits like that at £10 and £14 for a lot, split down on another day, you know, they would make plenty of money. So there were, if dealers were buying on this auction, there were lots to be purchased, you know, and there were items to be bought and sold as well. You know, we did come down to £5 on some of them. Some of the items, estate items that just needed selling, you know, that we were happy to sell those. And you know, even things like the NAFI tokens and that was from yesteryear at £5 and £6. You know, not ideal bids for a specialist sale, but you know what? It was a collector's sale, so people wanted to buy them. 30 possible Roman coins, there you go. They did, was the £80. £80 on that lot. Fair money for that one, I think. And then we did all sorts of coins. As we come through here, we was going through the coins, and then even like the error coins at a £5, they were cheap money. £32 for the 1673 half crown with a bit of wear. Fair money as well, cheap, I think, but ultimately, you know, the stuff has to be sold. It's got to go. You know, the 1849 silver 4p there at £20, and then some of these fantastic lustre pennies and that was making a tenner each. Well, if you're a coin collector, they were bargains. They were good pieces to put into your collection for the money that you paid for them. So again, but it's great news because they're going out there, they're getting another life, and they're going back into the system for people to collect and love and cherish for all them years until they have to hand it over to somebody else, as we all do. Anyway, as coming down here, that one was cheap as well. The Liverpool Music Festival at 20 quid. I'm not quite sure that was even the scrap money. And then this one here, that was a shame because that had a spelling error on it. That would have been hundreds of pounds, but it had a hole in it, so it made 12 quid. As we come down here, silver shillings and things at £40. Some of those did well, maybe rarer dates. The 50p didn't sell. I can usually get rid of them in the general sale. And then some of these older coins, because of the conditions and things, it's 14 quids and 10 quids and 20 quids. Some of these bits struggled. Some of these pieces here, there was no interest in them. So maybe they'll get grouped up for a future sale, unless they're taken back to the estate. So some of these ones, like this one, the Elizabeth I coin there, you know, that one did, what did it do? 90 quid. You know, that one was okay. And as we came through, sort of this silver made its money, made it pretty much made its scrap money, and not a lot more. These silver pieces didn't sell. However, we've had somebody contact us that wants to buy all 6 of those at the reserves now, so they're going to sell as well, all being well, as long as they turn up, of course. And then the £25 and £5 coins sealed lot didn't sell. All these bits sold. These were making 10 and 12 quids. So okay, so let's just skip through some of the coins. Even these were cheap. £18 for 18 quids worth of £2 coins, but they were the collectible ones. And you know what, the old what's it called? The Kew Gardens. We've been making more in the general sales than we made in the special sale for that one, and that was in really good nick. But this is what I remind you all the time. Don't get het up about specialist sales all the time. They're not necessarily going to make more money. Our general sale is so well attended, it does well. But these were doing okay, you know, 6 £1 notes for 14 quid. Some of the tenors, the modern tenors didn't sell, and the old ones did, but they sold at the face value. So there you go, all them tenors, the 20s, the 5s, all of these were selling quite well. This one here made its exact value, £50. For an old 1980s £50 note. And then as you came down, the shillings, from what I remember, they did okay, didn't they? 10 shilling 10 bob notes, £18 for those as well. So that tenner, was that the tenner that did okay? Yeah, £28 for a tenner there. It just shows you why you shouldn't take these things back to the bank, because you're going to get at least the value for them. You know, the old fiver there at £18, another old fiver at £10. Well, that's double its value that you'd get in the bank. The white fivers, they did what this kind of normally do, sort of anywhere towards 100 quid. Then we went back onto the jewellery, and we started selling some silver to start off with, which pretty much all sold. This one here, I don't mind telling you that somebody bought this at Prestige in a box of miscellaneous, and they paid £5 for the box, and then thought, I know, I'll put that old ring that was at the bottom of the box down into a specialist sale. £40. There you go. What a chunk of profit that is. And then you come down here, we started selling some of the silver charms, anointing spoons and things, 16 quids, 8 quids. And then we had these rings. That was a nice ring, that was. 2.85 grams. So what's that? That's 40, 50, about 60 quid in scrap. Close enough. And that did £100. So it does show you that, you know, despite people talking about scrap prices constantly, that sometimes it's worth splitting the stuff down, putting it into a decent auction like ours, and making that extra bit on it. So for like this, for instance, which is 16.9 grams of silver, which was the witch's charm bracelet, 16.9 grams of silver, which is tenner-ish in scrap, maybe a touch over. £10, £42 that one did. So, you know, even after your commission, you're still quids in on stuff like that. Then we sold all these, well, Lisa was up on the rostrum for a little while selling all these interesting coins here. Some did well, some didn't. The trouble is they made too many of these sets, and I think, in my opinion, and some of them can struggle. Some of the other ones did okay, 42 quid for that one, and then £42 for that one. There's one or two of them didn't even make the reserve. That was a shocker, that one there. A 1 gram bracelet, so it's tiny 1 gram T-bar 7-inch bracelet, you know, so a £24 in scrap at full London made £85. You got £85 for that. And then you had all these other bracelets. Bracelets were selling extremely well yesterday. Even I was a bit taken back at how much they were making. And they were making really good money. That 9-carat Belcher bracelet there, Belcher necklace, sorry, 17, 140 quids of a scrap did £190. You know, so ultimately, when you start looking at these things, you know, I would say, you know, if you've got a decent bit of jewellery, then it's worth getting into one of our decent sales, because it's certainly going to do you more than the scrap money. As we come down here, we had more bracelets and things, and they varied in price. I'm trying to get to some of the big hitters. Now, that one was just under the reserve, didn't quite sell, that one. And then that one didn't either, which really surprised me. I thought it was going to get there. And then other things like this, you know, which was 7.57 grams, yellow and white gold, did 180. So it really was, I think it really was a case of people weren't buying for scrap so much as for the items that they like. You know, £300 on that sapphire and diamond 9-carat gold bracelet, that was cheap, I thought. But, you know, it was there to sell, that one. So away it went. A lot of the rings did, I thought, reasonable money. Certainly a lot cheaper than the high street, and I think that's what people are looking for now, is the fact that, you know, the high street's got itself all expensive. And as we're rising costs and that you're getting better bargains in the auction. This one, the 18-carat gold diamond and sapphire Princess Diana sort of engagement type ring, look-alike. This one did £350, and that one's going all the way to Texas in America. I know we've got a note about it before and after the sale. So that one there, the old Grimsby thing there, that did £140. That's staying local as well, which is good. And then this one was probably a little bit surprising because some of this heavyweight stuff can be quite tricky to sell. And this one here at 24.6 grams, so that's what, 480, about 500 quid. Did £590 plus commission. So a nice big bracelet, that one. But it seemed to do fair money. And as we come down here, there was more of the bracelets and things that were doing good money. 230 there, 310 there. And then that one didn't quite make its reserve. And then some of the gypsy rings, that didn't sell in the end, which quite surprised me because they're usually quite popular. And then the articulated fish, that did £85. That was okay. And the ball necklace there at 170. And then, as you can see just looking at some of these prices. Of course, feel free to go on to Easy Live Auctions and have a look. You can see this yourself. I'm only just going through it on the internet as you can do yourselves. So some of these little silver charms again, at £5, 20 quid for a silver necklace and so on. That one there didn't sell, the big silver coin. And some of the sovereigns sold, some didn't. But the big one of the day was the most expensive one that we thought we might struggle to get away, plus the commission. And this was basically an Australian nugget coin, 1 ounce of pure gold, and that made £1,970. So that'll nicely go into somebody's collection, or maybe it's just a piece of bullion to put away for a rainy day. Some of the various military bits did okay. This one did well, which we thought it would. The lovely collection there did £470. So you can see that when it comes to these specialist sales, that didn't sell, by the way, which was a shame. And one or two of the military bits, some of those struggled. Some of the reserves were maybe a touch high, I thought. But the market is ever changing, you see, and you can't always suggest what's good value and what's not these days because things are changing constantly. I thought that was good, cheap at £50, that one there, and those at £42, but people didn't warm to them. But of course, the shock of the day, anyone that was watching the video, was this one here. Well, this little mobile can, an empty oil can with if you look on the top there, it had like a little spout thing on the top there. Well, when we opened this up on the internet, we'd given it an estimate of probably £20 to £30. I maybe expected it to do a bit more, maybe towards 100 on a good day. And it opened up at £800 on the internet. So if you've got anything like this is why you should always get stuff checked out. I mean, I didn't even know that was going to be worth that much, but £800, and it finished at £820. So there was still a couple more bids in it. So that's two people really going against each other to try and buy an old piece of petrol memorabilia. So there you go. Some of the other cans did okay. Then we got onto the toys, and the toys was a bit of a mixed bag. Some of them were modern, so some of them didn't sell. Some of them only made a £5. And then other things were doing really well, like 32 quid for the Warhammer stuff there. And then the Space Shuttle at £22. And then when we got onto where is it, as we shoot through the toys and games and the die cast, because again, a lot of that was sort of anywhere between £5 and £12 a basket. And then the pop heads did okay. I mean, these are very hit and miss, these Funko Pop things. So some of those 26s, were good money for a basket of those. And then we came on to the TCR stuff. All of that sold. And then one or two of the Harry Potter ones, one at £26, and others were a bit cheaper. The Meccano struggled, but that's not unusual these days. Meccano isn't the go-to toy anymore. One or two of the Britain's bits did okay at £20s and £30, and then there was others at 10 and 15. So, Britain's again, there are collectors for it, and one or two of the bits did do some fair money, like £42 for that one, and so on. So then we had the Star Wars lightsabers. Then we got onto the gaming. Well, the gaming always does well. Gaming is on fire at the moment. So, they're at £60 for that one, and 48 and 24s and 48s and 30s and 50s. gaming stuff, do not chuck it away. Don't give it to the local charity shop unless that's what you want to do. If you're thinking it's got no value and you're just thinking about giving it away, then bring it to the local auction room. And then if you want, you can donate some of that money to the charity and you can keep some yourself. There are lots of options for you. It always seems to surprise me that the amount of times that you don't see this stuff in charity shops, but a lot of it gets given to them. So I think a lot of them sell online themselves now, something like that. That box there at £32 was okay. And then we got onto the lorries. And the lorries, well, I fancied bidding on all these. The cabinets did 40 odd quid each, 40, 50 and 65 for that one. And then the lorries were doing anywhere from sort of 16 to 30 odd pound each. And there was a lot of them, if you remember, 120 or so of them. I'm going to flick through those because there's pages and pages of them. In fact, I'm going to go to page 14. And then we came to the end of the lorries, 22s, 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 20s, 24s, and, a good lot. And then we got onto the magnificent collection of stones at the end. Well, and again, this was a mixed bag. Some sold, some didn't sell, 22 quid there, 22 quid there. This was sort of the smaller bits, £26. And then some of the jars were a tenner, some didn't sell at all. And, I think people were very picking and choosing what they wanted in these. There were bidders online for it, no doubt about that. And then we came down here, we got onto the baskets, and again, some of the baskets were a tenner, some didn't sell, some were 20 quid. And then we come to one particular basket that did a few bob. Where was it? This one here, there you go, lot number 844. That one had some nice pieces in it. And that one did £150 for that basket. So it does show you that there were pieces in there that were worth doing a little bit extra for. Then lots of the baskets as well. And we came onto the bigger pieces, £120 for that one, 50, 140. And then if it was a nice piece, it was making decent money. If it wasn't, then it didn't make as much. Just the way of the world, I'm afraid. It depends what people are looking for as well. But as we got onto these pieces here, this one here, that one there did £120, for instance. And then we started coming onto some of the bigger bits towards the end. And then, let me find it. Onto the next page, we come through all these sort of general pieces. Then we started hitting these, and then we did £40 on that one. And then as we came onto this one, we did 110 on that one, 130 on that one there. And then this one here was how much? 290 for that one there, that nice geode amethyst one. And then this one here at 290 as well. And then the bigger one out of the lot did £420. There you go, 420 for that nice piece there. And then as you came down here, the big one, the monster, the one that was pretending to be citrine but wasn't, it's actually heat treated amethyst. That did £1,500. £1,500, and I'm being told that that's been sold locally as well, which is quite a good thing, because no one would want to be carrying that piece too far, believe me. At 112 kilos. Then we came on to the telescopes and things. Now, I thought this end one might have done a bit better. However, when I got told why it didn't, is because there was some damage to it and there were some pieces missing as well. So whoever bought it has got a bit of a project. So $660 for that. But do you know what? Overall, what an absolutely amazing sale. It was hard work for the staff at Prestige. Well, I say the staff, mainly me and Lisa did that one. We spent a lot of evenings doing it and getting that one together. But do you know what? It paid dividends in the end, because most of the stuff got sold. The bits that didn't get sold will sell again another day if the people want them to. And we had a great day. Lots of people watched it on YouTube, lots of people on Easy Live, and lots of people on Facebook. So as always, thank you for taking the time to watch one of our videos. It does help us if you watch them, but it helps us more than anything if you leave a comment and give us a bit of a thumbs up, and of course hit that subscribe button. Subscribing on YouTube doesn't cost you anything, okay, but it does let you know then if you hit that notification bell once you've subscribed when we put some new content out there. We try to put a bit of content out every day. It's not always the easiest thing because we've got so much to do, but at the end of the day, what have I done here? I think I've messed up here. Let's press that. Yeah, so at the end of the day, we will do our best to get some content out for you every day. So this will go out pretty much straight away today, which is Thursday. You've got another one going out tomorrow, which is the podcast, episode 3, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. You've got the live feed on Saturday, auction aftermath on Sunday. Then we're into the running on the last week before we have a 2-week shutdown. But we will try and get some stuff done for you for while we're away. And anyway, once again, thank you for your bids. Thank you for your support. We'll see you all again very soon at the auction.